All right, we want to go live to Sarah Palin, who is delivering a major policy address, the first one she's delivered in a long, long time. This is live at the Pittsburgh, PA airport. Let's listen in. She's talking about special needs.
Or perhaps they have nothing to contribute. And this attitude is a grave disservice to these beautiful children and to our country, and I'm going to work to change that. One of the most wonderful experiences in this campaign has been to see all the families with children who have special needs, and they come out to the rallies, they come out to events like this, and there is a bond there. There's just an inherent and very special bond that's created right when we see each other and look into each other's eyes, the parents of these children. We know that children with special needs inspire such a special love, and you bring your sons and your daughters with you to some of these events because you are proud of them, as I am proud of my son. And my little fella, he sleeps usually during most of these rallies, even when they get so rowdy and noisy. He's still snoozing, but he would be amazed, I think, to realize how many folks come out to see him instead of me. It's kind of cool. And when I learned that Trig would have special needs, honestly, I had to prepare my heart. And at first, to be honest with you, I was really scared and had no idea what to expect, really. And I had talked a lot about cherishing every life and wanting to do all that I could for those with special needs. My 13-year-old nephew is autistic, and I'm very, very close to him and to his parents, and always wanted to do all that I could. But still, when I found out that Trig would have special needs, not knowing what to think, really, and I was scared. And Todd and I, we had to ask for strength and understanding, and we did a lot of praying for that understanding and that strength, and to see purpose in all of this. And what's been confirmed in me, especially since Trig's birth, has been absolute confirmation that, yes, every child has something to contribute, and if you give them that chance, there is purpose, there is that contribution to be made, and there is that special love that they bring to this world, and that is a love that I think especially our country needs more of. And you know that there are the world's standards of perfection, and then there are God's standards of perfection, and these really are the final measure. And every child is beautiful before God and is dear to Him for their own sake. And the truest measure of any society is how it treats those who are most vulnerable. As for our baby boy Trig, for Todd and for me, he is only more precious because he is vulnerable. And in some ways, I think that we stand to learn more from him than he'll ever learn from us. And when we hold Trig and when we care for him, we don't feel scared anymore. We truly feel blessed. And of course, many families, other families, thousands and thousands of us across this country, many know what I'm talking about. You're in the same boat that we are in. Many other families are much further along in this similar path also, though, including my best friend, who happens to be my sister, Heather, and her 13-year-old son, Karcher, who has autism. Heather and I have worked on this for over a decade, and Heather is an advocate for children with autism in Alaska. And as governor, what I've been able to do, again, to assist our families, children with special needs, is secure additional funding, secure more assistance for our students with special needs. In fact, by 2011, I will have tripled the funding available to our students, and our state school board president has proclaimed what we've done there with special needs students via funding increases as being historic. It's really changed the face of this issue in my own state. Heather and I have been blessed with a large and strong family network. We have that assistance from our family. And our family helps to make sure that Trig and Karcher have what they need. But I realize, you realize, especially you advocates who are working with other families, you realize that not everyone is so lucky to have a strong network of support. And the experience of those millions of Americans point the way to better policy in the care of children with special needs. And one of the most common experiences is the struggle of parents to find the best and earliest care for their children. The law requires that our public schools serve our children with special needs, but often the results fall far short of the service that they need and that they deserve. Even worse, Parents are left with no other options except for the few families that maybe can't afford private instruction or therapy. And many of you parents here, you've been through the drill. You sit down with teachers and counselors to work out the IEP, the individual education plan for your child. And the school, no doubt, is trying its best. They're doing all that they can with the resources that they have, but they are overstretched. And they may keep telling you that, no, your child's progressing well and no extra services are required. They keep telling you that, but you know better because you know your child. And you know that your children perhaps are not getting all of the help that they need at a time when they need it most. The parents of children with special needs ask themselves every day if they're doing enough and if they're doing right by our sons and our daughters. And when our public school system fails to render help and equal opportunity, and even parents are prevented sometimes from seeking that help and those choices elsewhere, that to me is unacceptable. And in a McCain-Palin administration, we're going to put the educational choices for special needs children in the right hands, in the hands of the parents and the good responsible caretakers. Under reforms that I will lead as Vice President, the parents and caretakers of children with physical or mental disabilities will be able to send that boy or girl to the school of their choice, public or private. Under our reforms that we'll talk about, federal funding for every special needs child will follow that child. Some states have begun to apply this principle already, thankfully, as in Florida's McKay Scholarship Program. And that program allows for choices and a quality of education that should be available to parents in every state for every child with special needs. And this process should be uncomplicated and quick and effective because early education can make all the difference. And no barriers of bureaucracy should stand in the way of serving our children with special needs. And that's why John and I will direct the Department of Education to clarify the statute administratively. And we'll make explicit that when state funds are portable, that federal funds are fully portable. And we're going to make sure that parents have choices and children receive the education that they desire, that they deserve for their children. Because even the best public school teacher or administrator really cannot rightfully take the place of a parent making these choices. The schools feel responsible for the education of many children, but a parent alone is responsible for the life of each child and how to make that life better. And in the case of parents with children who have disabilities, then there are enough challenges already as it is, and our children will face more than enough closed doors along the way, unfortunately, until we really change the face of America and show that good heart of America in every aspect of our culture, of our society. So when our sons and daughters need better education, more specialized training, and more individual attention, the doors of opportunity should be open, and they'll be open in our administration.